Three bills just advanced in the Senate aimed at protecting American elections from interference from artificial intelligence. And some fear that if it goes unregulated, it could pose an existential risk to humanity. Others say maybe not to that extent. Let's bring in James Czerniawski, Senior Tech and Innovation Policy Analyst at Americans for Prosperity, up late with you tonight here on the Final Five. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
We have been talking, I mean, AI, we've been having fun with it around here, but we realize that there is a much heavier burden that it carries in our society right now. Why are we having this discussion at this point if we have an election that's less than 6 months away?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think artificial intelligence, as you highlighted, it's an extraordinarily powerful technology. It has the capability of really improving society in so many ways, whether that's in our healthcare system or with our cars as we're looking to the future. But it can also have impacts on our elections as well. So we saw the Senate go and bring forward 3 different proposals that were trying to tackle this issue around the use of AI in political ads. And, you know, as you mentioned, we have this election coming up here in the fall, and it's not going to be beyond the realm of possibility to think that artificial intelligence might make its way into some of these advertisements that these candidates are using.
And we have seen, to some extent, that it being deployed in one way, shape, or form. And I mean, look, I will be completely honest with people at home that we've been having, I mentioned having some fun with it. There's an app called Parrot.ai that we have been recording Donald Trump's voice and Joe Biden's voice, and we're kind of shocked at how accurate it sounds. And it's amazing that if you have a free app out there that can do that sort of thing, if you have people who truly know how to do it, it could really throw some confusion into the process, to say the least.
Oh, that's absolutely fair. I think it's not surprising to think that when we look back to January, when you had the robocall situation in New Hampshire, right, that was AI generating Joe Biden's voice telling voters not to vote in the primary. The difference being here is that, you know, that's great, and there certainly is the ability for harm to come out of it, but you can't have it be where the solution is worse than the disease that's being identified here. And that was the problem that we saw coming up with these particular bills that are getting looked at in the Senate here. So, you know, Amy Klobuchar wanted to prohibit the use of artificial intelligence in any kind of political advertising. Now, the problem ended up being that the way that was defined was so broad that any kind of basic editing software that you're using these days, which does utilize AI, it's not like it's as new as people think it is. No. It's been around for some time, but it could go and impact things like that. And when you're looking at how the bill is structured, it's basically empowering a regime where you're telling politicians to sue first and ask questions later. And that could have a very chilling effect on people's speech, not just for candidates, but for actual users on the internet, more broadly speaking.
How do you find that happy medium where you keep the free market solutions open, that you don't over-regulate something, but still ensure that there is some level of protection?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it's something where we're always going to be one step behind in some respects, because for every advancement we make, there's always going to be malactors that are challenging us. So that's why whenever we're looking at what can we do with this technology, it's from a literacy perspective that we have to look at it first. How can we better engage with the public to help them understand what AI is, what AI is not, how to possibly spot a deep fake, and always go and double check. You don't have to just rely on one single source for something, and you know, that's always been a good process for me in my life.
That's the tenet of journalism too, is where you don't trust one source, you have to, and what do we trust but verify?
Absolutely, you have to trust and verify, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of content out there. But at the end, what you want to be avoiding here is you don't want to have a situation where everybody's able to go and sue to take down content, because this would have expanded to beyond just political ads to include any artificial intelligence generated thing concerning a federal candidate that was running for office, right? So it's not just limited to a political ad where we see somebody making Donald Trump hugging Anthony Fauci or whatever. It could be an independent blogger or journalist that's using AI to generate an image of Joe Biden in some way. And if they don't like that coverage, you know, you could see the administration go and take action against somebody like that. And that would be very bad.
Something I've asked you before on other tech-related issues, but in this realm, I'll ask it again. Is this a matter of having people make these calls on Capitol Hill who may not fully understand artificial intelligence as it stands right now?
Well, I think that that's the biggest problem that we have with politicians in general, is that they are looking at technology that they don't necessarily understand.
Wait, you're telling me that Joe Biden doesn't know TikTok back and forth?
I think that Joe Biden is maybe thinking that the internet is still a series of tubes, so we got to be careful.
Stevens.
Yeah, you know, I think that that's something that we have to be careful of, because we've seen things like that pop up time and time again, and I think that this is why it's important that we educate people about what that technology is, and more importantly, what it is not. That way we can go and actually see where these deepfakes are popping up and how we can go and be better prepared for it. So there is one of those bills that was the least troubling was one that would require a report for our election administration's, the Election Assistance Commission, that would have them see how election administrators are using AI in the election as we're looking at 2024, and also studying the impact that it is having right now. What are the uses? What are the benefits and risks, right? And what are the kinds of best practices that we can follow? So the private sector is also doing their part here. Meta, Google, Microsoft, they all have all kinds of user policies surrounding the use of artificial intelligence in political advertising. They're investing resources that detect this kind of artificially generated content. So I think that we have to have faith in our ability to innovate our way around some of these issues and continue to double down on that, because we don't want to let the fear of these very rare use cases go and undermine the broader benefit that's there.
James Czerniawski, good to see you again, man. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Final Five is back right after this.